Well. The Shoulder FootyCast live from BackChat Studios. Getting towards the end of the time we bring you this show, but we are here Thursday, the 9th of October. It's Trade Thursday or something like that. I don't know. It's trade period. There's lots of rumours going around. There's lots of deals getting done.
Sneaky squirrels.
Skeeter is in Bali, so Dan Const is back. Hello, mate.
I did see a YouTube comment that said Dan full-time gets Sleepy Joe out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I thought, well,
Dino or Diane?
I think, yeah, it was DConst89, the YouTube user.
So it was you.
Yeah, it was me. I'm glad to be back. It's another treat to be in this show.
It's great to have you on the Shoulder FootyCast. We're sort of going to flip roles a little bit. You're going to guide me through some of the biggest news that's happened. Stuff. A big thank you to, of course, our sponsors, doing their thing on a Thursday. Aspect Accountants. They bring us the numbers all the time. Hey,
they did my tax and I got a sweet little return. Thank you very much, Aspect.
Are you with Aspect? Of course you're with Aspect.
Yeah, of course I am. Mate, Ben looked after me and just my tax return. Good.
And our good man, Steve from Homewise Solar, who got in contact after Monday's show, and he was very happy to hear your little shout out, and he just wondered maybe you've got about 4 houses, your mum's, your dad's dad.
That's true. Yeah, I think we could fit some more solar panels on there.
So guarantees of the week, you did enjoy your guarantee of the week, which was
Nick Dacos going to Tasmania, and
wow,
it's heating up.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow. Very good, mate. If you want to follow us on socials, we'd love to have you there. Shoulder FootyCast on socials. Send us an email if you want to interact with the show. I will say that we'll have a show Monday, and then we're going to be doing a live trade period final hour show across BackChat, Shoulder FootyCast.
Live on YouTube.
That will be our last show of the year. So if you've got questions you want answered before that happens, footycast at backchatstudios.com.au. I don't know when Skeet's coming back from Bali. I don't know if he's been picked up from the Y Bar yet. I don't know if he's rejoined his family at this stage. But I do think he'll be back next week and on the show. So,
do we know a time that trade deadline finishes?
Look, the daylight savings sort of has got me a little confused, but I believe it is 7:30. So I think we'll be live from 3:30 Western.
For the last hour.
4:30 Western, which will be 6:30 till 7:30 for the last hour.
Last year was so fun.
Well, Tom Barris was on a golf course. I believe he forgot in the last hour that he hadn't been traded and then started panicking with an hour to go because they hadn't gone through. We know that they stack them up. We know that there'll be lots of deals done. Look, this year, Zach Merritt could be on the table. Clayton Oliver could be on the table. Petrarca could be on the table. Ugle Hagen could be going.
So many good ones.
There's some big names. So stay tuned for that. But for now, there's been some stuff happening this week.
Yeah, there's been some very big things. Firstly, Geelong have been fined $77,500 after an external audit into the club's compliance with total player payments and football expenditure limit. So they've got a $40,000 suspended sort of fine. So it essentially is a $37,500 fine.
This, Dan, you'll find is one of the weakest letter sleeve slaps on the wrist that you will ever see to a football club that for years has been signing players, and everyone goes, how are they getting these players done? They roll out the lifestyle play.
Yep.
I'm from Geelong. It's not a lifestyle play, right? Geelong... This is not the first occurrence of this happening. In 2020, they were fined $40,000, which is more than their suspended element here. They were fined $40,000 for non-disclosure over salary cap out of the salary cap spend. So they're not disclosing things to the AFL.
No.
They're forgetting to disclose things to the AFL. The AFL now knows about it. They've been found guilty. And they've been fined $37,500.
I don't get the suspended part. When does that, if they do it again, do they get another 40?
This is
so dumb.
As weak as you'll see. I'm not saying Geelong aren't rorting the salary cap, but they're not. I mean, this is becoming a serious thing now because Geelong, once again, has been found guilty of not getting there. Have we heard any other clubs over the last 10 years get done at least twice in this realm? No, we haven't. So that smells fishy to me.
Yep.
They're going to move on. Bailey Smith, third in the best and fair, far out. Third in the Brownlow after an ACL. They get him to the club. They're linked to Rowan Marshall this year. Jeremy Cameron's been traded across. Dangerfield's been traded across.
Charlie Curnow's potentially going there.
Correct, mate. So,
yeah. Well, for me, all this does is send a message to the league. It's like, just break the rules. The fine is so minimal, it doesn't matter.
It seems weak to me. It seems like they couldn't quite figure out what's going on, and we got to find out.
Don Pike, if you're listening, see this and go, all right, we're going to do the same. We may as well use it to our advantage. $37,000 is nothing. Anyways, I think more will come out for that as the years go by and we realise that maybe Geelong aren't the only club. Who knows? Maybe the AFL will look into it more. Over the past week, multiple clubs have reached out directly, here we go, to Nick Dacos and his management to gauge any interest that he has in a move.
So we had this chat on Monday around Nick, his father Peter, his brother Josh. I'm actually surprised,
Filthy.
I'm actually surprised that clubs aren't reaching out to Nick and Josh and Peter.
It's a good way to get them there.
They probably are. They're saying Nick, but they probably mean Nick, Josh, Peter, because we know they're a package deal. They don't do anything apart.
No.
They don't play football apart. I'm surprised Peter's not playing for Collingwood.
I actually only recently found out that they sleep in bunk beds. Josh and Nick still in bunk beds.
It's one of those it's like the double bed underneath and the single up top. Nick gets the one up top and then Peter and Josh are in the one down below.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. So, look, we spoke about Peter storming out of the best and fairest on Monday. Tie off, kicking doors, kicking tyres on the way out. Left table before the BNF was over. He wasn't happy that he was going to win. Wasn't going to win the best and fairest. That's how it's been reported. Either off the back of that or around that, multiple clubs have been reaching out to Nick Dacos.
Yeah.
As much as I take the piss out of these guys as much as possible, because I find it hilarious that they just won't be separated. Nick Dacos is one of the best players in the AFL.
Yep.
And if there's a little bit of smoke, just like a Geelong, there's smoke, there's fire, salary cap rotting. Well, Peter's not happy, Nick's not happy, Josh isn't happy. I'd be inquiring too to one of the best players in the AFL. He was second in the Brownlow medal, second in the best and fairest.
And Tassie have that sweet, sweet cash.
Well, I don't think this refers to Tasmania. I think this refers to clubs currently in the AFL. And they're just gauging interest.
Yep.
Is there any possibility? You got to ask the question.
You have to. Mate, no one thought Luka Doncic was tradable.
Right.
In the NBA.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, Shams one morning drops the news, Luka Doncic has been traded to the Lakers. Everyone's like, what? That makes no sense.
If Nick Dacos was traded from Collingwood, that would be the biggest trade story in the history of trades.
Totally.
So
absolutely.
I don't think it's a thing. Given that Craig McRae has been out in public, I can't believe this has been verbalised in public.
I thought it's embarrassing.
I thought for sure it had been reported, but this is quoted out of his mouth. I think he was interviewed on Trade Radio about this.
You know, like AFL Centel?
Yeah.
And they do fake stories.
It's a meme
I
thing,
thought it was one of those.
Craig McRae has said Collingwood will look into their current best and fairest voting format. Right now, 5 coaches vote 0 and 4 for each player per game for a max of 20 votes. Now, I thought, off the back of this bullshit we've been talking about Peter Dacos and Nick Dacos getting inquired, I thought someone had just made this up. Just like Gerard Whaley, although Gerard Whaley did say that Graham Myers was the next Messi, but it was like that, right?
Delete the tweet.
There's just no way that the coach of Collingwood, after 3 days after their best and fairest, after making a fool of himself on the stage, this wasn't Craig McRae being cheeky. This was Craig McRae looking like an idiot.
Is this quote here on the run sheet from Craig?
Darcy, this is verbatim
from Craig,
out of his mouth. And again, I thought this could not be possibly from his mouth. Darcy Cameron is a great winner, but I'd look at the process, and there are times when Nick could probably get more votes here and there.
What?
I reckon.
If I'm Darcy Cameron, trade me to West Coast right now.
I reckon he's just signed on. But it's a great point. I read that, and look, Craig McRae is not dumb, and he's not an idiot. He just looked like one of the best and fairest. He would have said that. That would have been printed, and he would have gone, gee, that's bad.
Yeah.
He would have been, if he's any good at a coach, which he bloody well is, he's a premiership coach, he would have been on the phone to Darcy Cameron immediately, no matter where he is in the world right now, profusely apologising.
Yeah.
He's basically dancing on the best and fairest grave of Darcy Cameron, saying, I wish Nick had won the best and fairest. We should have given him more votes, and our system's broken. That's why Darcy Cameron won the best and fairest.
That's so rough. Anyways, Craig McRae, couple of furfies there doing the thing about Nick only getting second to Brownlow, then couldn't even win the best and fairest. Now he's saying this stuff. Nick's upset, Josh's upset, Peter's upset, Collingwood may be falling off a cliff. David Swallow is open to playing on, so retired. The Gold Coast Suns great is retired, but now potentially backflipping. A club is potentially chasing him. What's happening?
It's not West Coast, is it?
I heard West Coast. I saw it on Twitter anyway. I think someone was like, look, if he is going to retire, West Coast should go after a guy like that.
Well, he has retired, in inverted commas, but apparently he's being spoken to. Now, so let's talk about West Coast, because David Swallow's a West Australian.
Yep.
They've just added Mitch Duncan to the coaching list, which I think we'll chat a little bit later on in the show. Maybe not. Mitch Duncan's a coach at West Coast.
I'm stoked about that.
So he's a West Australian.
Yeah.
He's a senior player, a premiership player.
Harley Reid loves him.
Well, he should, because he's going to coach the back line, which is exciting too. Could see a little bit of ball back there this year, but he's been a great player for Geelong. And I think seeing him interviewed around his milestone, seeing other players interviewed about him around his milestone, he just looks like a ripping bloke. And I've said it multiple times on this podcast, on BackChat, whatever, premierships and good football clubs aren't built around the talent. Now, West Coast talent isn't where it needs to be. But you don't have to have the best list in the AFL to win a premiership.
No.
You do need the best people. There is a common thread with premiership teams around the competition, and they have the best people. And it takes a number of years to grow that, a number of years to grow the connection, to get the good people to infiltrate their goodness into the football club.
Yep.
And Mitch Duncan looks like that sort of guy. So I think it's a great acquisition. The point speaking about him is last year, I believe, they started chatting to him about doing the Sam Mitchell, playing a year, then coaching. And I think it was a conversation this year as well. Hey, how about in 2026 you play for another year and you coach? He said, my body's done, I'm not doing that. However, I reckon they're looking same sense at David Swallow, if that is in fact true. If West Coast are linked to him, you could have worse players. If he doesn't crack into the first team, you could have worse waffle players than a player that has been an inaugural player at a club, that has driven culture and leadership at that football club, has captain, ripped, tanned, pretty good looking.
Yeah.
David Swallow to play on at West Coast wouldn't be the worst move they've made, and they've made some poor ones.
I think this does, like you said, it has a little bit of Sam Mitchell about it. Obviously, you guys were much closer to winning a premiership than this team is, but having that senior person, standard set, a lot of talk around the standards, West Coast Eagles, they fit enough and all that. David Swallow would come in and be like, boys, I'll show you how it's done. Yeah. I want that. We need that. Yeah, they've been desperately needing veteran leadership or more of it, and he fits the bill.
No, I agree. I think it's a void. I mean, Oscar Allen has just been traded to Brisbane, so you've just traded your captain. You could do worse than getting a captain of an AFL side, a former captain of an AFL side, onto your list. It would fill a leadership void that I think is really there at West Coast. So if that is the team that's inquiring, I would be going after him. Apparently they're out of the race for Jack Steele. I read that this morning. Jack Steele, of course, captain at St Kilda last year, has relinquished the captaincy duties. He apparently really wants to stay at St Kilda, but other clubs are chasing him. West Coast is not one of them, Jack Steele. But
can I give you another name?
Yeah.
That West Coast could potentially look at?
Yes.
Veteran leadership, standard setter.
Hang on. Bontempelli.
Someone who wants to play on, that it's blown my mind that he wants to. Goldstein. We need ruck. We need help in the ruck.
No,
and we need veteran
I'm not
leadership.
laughing at Goldie either. I mean, do you need a 39-year-old on your list?
Mate, he still wants to play.
Oh, mate. I mean, honestly, you probably could do worse than him too. Yeah, you probably could do worse. If suddenly you walk out of this trade period and you've gone from the youngest list in the AFL to suddenly the oldest. You got Pendles, you got Goldie.
He's so filthy.
Scott Cummings coming out of retirement. Who wants to play for us?
All right, speaking of Essendon players went to the AFLPA being upset after a club meeting in June led by CEO Craig Vozzo about illicit drug use, arguing that the discussion overstepped boundaries and potentially breached confidentiality. All right, this sounds like I just read a little bit of a news article, which I think I did. Explain this to us. Well, in layman's terms, what's happened?
Well, I don't.
What you think maybe has happened.
It's important to say I don't know what's happened.
Yes.
And when these sort of stories bounce around, they're reported by a journalist, and then the club responds, and then it grows legs, and then it gets its own sort of life of its own. We don't know what's happened here, but reading between the lines after hearing sort of what the club said, what this report said, haven't heard from any players. I've been in similar meetings, I reckon. The CEO, Craig Vozzo, Brad Scott was there, apparently. It's a players-only meeting. It's about standards and it's about off-field standards.
Okay. In June, so...
That is before the mid-season bye.
Yep.
And reportedly, it was specifically about illicit drug use. If Craig Vozzo's got up there and said, well, number one, don't do illicit drugs, I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
I don't think that's overstepping any boundaries. So I don't think a playing group
would put a drinking ban on them.
If the CEO and head coach got up the front and said, don't do illicit drugs, no one's going to the AFLPA. Hey, the club doesn't want us to do illicit drugs. We want to do illicit drugs, right? That's not what's happened.
Yeah.
Again, this is reading between the lines and I don't know, but what I think looks to have happened is they've either called out specific players or they've said, we know that you're doing illicit drugs.
Yep.
We've seen the results. We're telling you we know.
Right.
And to breach confidentiality, that's what would it have to be. And they've done it in front of the playing group. And I would say, it's still the same. It's still the same purpose. Like you're trying to get a group of elite athletes not to do illicit drugs. So if they've told them, we know that some of you are doing it and we know who you are, and we don't want you to do it over the mid-season bye, I've got no great issue with that. And if the playing group's going to the AFLPA complaining about their confidentiality, they probably should look a little deeper and be like, who's doing illicit drugs?
Yeah.
All right?
Inward.
Yeah, so I think that reads poorly for the playing group. It reads pretty well for Essendon as a football club to have your CEO, your head coach, and whoever other admin was in the room to put a playing group on notice and say, we know you're doing it, don't do it. I think that looks pretty good for Essendon in terms of standard setting. I think it looks pretty poor that the playing group want to go and cry about it to the AFLPA. I can't put it any other way. So, it's a really interesting story because it's been rumoured that this has been fed to the media by the Merit camp. Now, a lot of the trade and then subsequent messaging, both by Merit's camp in the management, the media, and the club, it's been driven by leaks. That's how this has all happened. I said on this show that I think Zach Merritt wants out of there, and the only way to do that was to create a divide between him and the club. And the way to do that is you start leaking information and you start making the club look bad. So that's why there's rumours that this was leaked by Zach Merritt. I don't know if that's happened or not. I don't think it's a good move if it was.
In his BNF speech, he did sort of say something about being...
You're talking about the
hostage video. But he did say something about I can't... you can't put all the standards of a club on one player, which seems a bit...
Is that what he said?
Yeah, it was something like, towards the end, he was like, we're a football club. I'm probably butchering what he's actually said, but it sounded like he's saying, look, we all have to take accountability for what we're doing. You can't just put the expectations of a football club on one player or a team. So it felt like he was sort of separating himself. I think so. I'm pretty sure.
He may have meant it as... we need to come together as a team and not be individuals.
Yeah.
But you've taken it as, I'm the standard setter and it can't just be on me.
Yeah, but that might be true. Context.
He's won 6th best and fairest in 12 years. So if he did say that, and that's what he meant in terms of I'm the man who need to get on board with me, it's correct.
All right, let's get to some done deals. Firstly, Oscar Allen. Wow. Mind-blowing. Oscar Allen to Brisbane, pick 2. Compensation has been confirmed.
Well, I want to ask you as a West Coast fan, just to break down the deal and then I'll ask you the question. So this was a 3-way trade between West Coast, Brisbane and Fremantle. It's one of the first deals West Coast and Fremantle have worked together on.
True.
In over a couple of decades.
Yeah.
So I'll give you the ins and outs of this. West Coast Oscar Allen goes to Brisbane for pick 2, and I'll come back on the Starcevic deal.
Yes.
Oscar Allen is pick 2. Do you feel as a fan that you've won out of this deal?
Yes.
happy with the deal?
Oh, I'm not happy about it. It's one of those like bittersweet things. I think for both teams, he didn't want to leave the club. The club probably didn't really want to let go of him, but they saw the ability to get a pick 2. It's pretty hard to get pick 2 unless you're as well as pick 1. So I reckon it's bittersweet. I really liked Oscar Allen. I hoped if he was healthy, he'd be one of the best forwards in the comp. But I don't know.
So is there a potential that Brisbane, who have a track record of doing this, and they've signed him on a 6-year deal, so that tells me unless Brisbane have lost the plot, they think that they can get him fit and healthy.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Will it be one? At his best, which a couple of years ago he kicked over 50 goals in a team that won three games. At his best, he's one of the best forwards in the comp.
Yep.
He was leading the competition in contested marks inside 50, which is a big stat. Is there a potential as fans to look back on this deal and be like, geez, we lost our captain for pick 2 and he's now one of the best key forwards in the comp? Or you're happy with who you got behind him in Job Shanahan, Jake Waterman,
if we
and
didn't
a number
have
of
any
other
forward
tools.
stocks, I would be like, that's so dumb. How could you let that guy go? But I think Job's going to be huge. Jake Waterman was like a mate, obviously All-Australian the year before, got injured this year. I think we've got depth there. I'm not too concerned, but yeah, I think it just looks bad that the captain wants to leave the club, probably because he's not getting to do it. I don't think it looks like West Coast were never going to be giving him 6 years.
People in Victoria are blowing up at this and they're saying they're not going to be giving any free agent compensation after this. There's a number of them actually that are saying, well, we can't do this anymore because West Coast got picked 2. Let me tell you why they need to keep this. The captain of the worst team in the comp has just gone to the Premiers. If West Coast aren't compensated with a minimum of pick 2, like I personally think pick 2 might not even be enough. Like you're getting in, I don't know, a 17, 18-year-old that you don't know how they're going to be. And
they might play 3 games and never play again.
So the blow up over East about, they can't have pick 5, picks in the top 5. Yes, you can. The reason it is at pick 2 is because West Coast have pick 1. That's why it's pick 2. They haven't just plucked pick 2 out.
No.
It's after their first round selection. So if West Coast had pick 10, they would have got pick 11.
Yeah, correct.
It's very important to remember that West Coast are a terrible football team and that's why they're getting pick 2 because their captain's leaving. So I think for equality's sake, it needs to stay like that. If not, find ways to equalise it even further. Otherwise, you're going to get the worst teams giving players to the best teams. I think it was something like only 6 times has a player gone from a winning side, like a Brisbane, to the bottom side in the entire trade period of the entire existence of it.
Starcevic.
Yeah, correct. Starcevic is one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen very often. It goes the other way.
Yeah.
Like think about all the players moving this year. They're all going to sides that are competing.
Of course. Yeah. I think I hope if next year Brisbane win the grand final and Oscar Allen wins the Norm Smith medal because he kicked 7 goals, I'll be stoked for him.
Yes.
Absolutely. Sam Flanders. Actually, should we stay on West Coast while you...
No, let's whip through him, mate.
Whip through him. Sam Flanders picked to St Kilda 4 pick 7.
Yeah.
Is that about even?
Feels a little overs, but you can't do much if Gold Coast want first round selection and pick 7's your first round selection, which is St Kilda. You can't do much other than give it to them. Although Fremantle actually moved their first round selection back in the Starcevic deal, so they didn't have to give as high a pick for Judd McVie. So if you can move back, they would have. Sam Flanders, look, is he pick 7? Is he pick 15? He's probably around that mark. It's a good acquisition for a club that are making big boy moves, St Kilda. Big boy moves.
They're thinking we don't really want to pick 7. We want an established player because we're making moves.
Yep, that's right. And they've got pick 6. So they still have picks. Pick 6. West Coast are still very much in the running for packaging something up to go to pick 6, which would be a pretty good result for West Coast 1, 2, and 6.
You mentioned Judd McVie. So Freo get Judd McVie for pick 23. I saw Freo fans online just not happy about it. They felt like they gave up too much.
Yeah, so let's tie these two together because it's tied with the Brandon Starcevic deal because basically the Judd McVie deal happened the second that the Starcevic deal went through. So Brandon Starcevic gets to the West Coast Eagles, which was widely publicised, and it gets done. So West Coast received Starcevic, a first-round pick, which was, I'm just going to say, there's a lot of movement because of different academy picks, different compensation picks. I'm just going to say what it currently was at when it got done. So Starcevic, pick 12 and pick 52. That's what West Coast got.
Yep.
And they gave up 16, 22, 23. Right? So they moved 16 up to 12. They gave probably pick 22 for Starcevic, and then they moved back in the draft. Brisbane received 2 first-round picks in 16 and 22 and 2 third-round picks in 44 and 50, and they gave up Starcevic, 19, 46 and 52. Fremantle, which is kind of the important part of all this, and this is why Freo fans were initially angry, but I think if you consider it, you actually understand that what they've done is they've moved back because they didn't want to give pick 12 for Judd McVie. They thought that was too high.
Yep, their first-round pick.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So they got 19, 23 and 46, right? And they gave up 12, 33, 44, 50. So they actually moved their pick 12 back to 19, but they got a second pick at 23. So they basically shifted 12 to 19 and 23, one of which they used on Judd McVie, which is 23. Yeah. So they moved it back to 19. They don't value this draft as high as other drafts, and they were happy to move from 12 to 19 if it meant securing Judd McVie, which is what they've done. I think it's a good move. I think he's a good player. I think he adds to Freo's list. That's why they did it. But I can understand Freo fans being, I guess, initially disappointed. But the second that trade happens, you can see what they've done, and I think there's logic behind it.
You're also so close to being a top 4 contending for a premiership team. You don't need a 12th pick. You need Judd McVie. You know, like there's the difference of what your team needs.
Well, they have 19, so they have a pick 5 picks later, 6 picks later. I think they'll be fine.
All right, Liam Reedy, staying with Freo. Liam Reedy, pick 53 and 71 goes to Carlton for pick 50 and 68.
Yeah, literally nothing. They've just got rid of Liam Reedy for a couple of pick swaps. So that'll be interesting because Tom de Koning left Carlton. So can he compete for the number 1 ruck spot? Could he be Lloyd Meek 2.0? That's literally what happened with Lloyd Meek. He was given up for not much. He came to a football club in Hawthorn that had other players in the ruck, and in his first year, he actually struggled to break in at times. Ned Reeves they used. I reckon they had another player there as well that they were all fighting for it. Had a big pre-season to start this year, and he's become definitely a top 10 ruckman.
That's all you need.
He's knocking on the door of a top 5, I reckon. Lloyd Meek. So
I'm still filthy that West Coast didn't look at that.
Liam Reedy?
No,
Meek.
Lloyd Meek.
Adam Simpson come out and said that they did, and they tried to get him,
right.
and Hawthorn got him instead.
Sam Mitchell doing more things. Malcolm Rosas Jr. and pick 62 goes to Sydney for pick 51 and 69. Break this one down for me.
Do you like Malcolm Rosas Jr.?
I don't know if it moves the needle enough for me to...
Yeah, well, it doesn't, but he's played forward, he's played back. Sydney had... I think Gold Coast have got a bunch of these players that are talented enough to break into a first list, but they've got a pretty deep squad, and so you're going to see a fair bit of movement. Bailey Humphrey has been spotted talking to teams. Melbourne, I saw Braden Fiorini has been linked to Carlton. There's a number of other players linked to other clubs from Gold Coast. Sam Flanders just moved from Gold Coast, so they have a bank of players that want to get a game. And that's why they're moving.
I also saw Campbell Chesser deal this morning is potentially is close to being done for about pick 40.
Pick 41 apparently is on the table for Campbell Chesser. As a West Coast fan, are you happy with that?
Oh, no, I'm not happy about that one. That's one that I actually am frustrated about because I think he's got a lot of potential, and he was just getting good.
Yeah.
Or showing signs, and I think... I don't know. I just think we lost on that one. But that's fine.
He hasn't left yet. He's just said he wants to leave. So, I mean, West Coast could just put a contract in front of him and sign him.
True. That's fine. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm back. I'm happy again. All right, let's go to some more rumours and whispers.
And innuendo.
GWS, right, after the Blue Goose.
Yeah.
They're leading the race for Clayton Oliver.
Of course they are.
Collingwood is there as well, but he did a medical, I think, at GWS.
Yeah, and he was doorstopped, and it was hilarious.
Yep.
I don't know if you saw the doorstop.
I actually didn't. Was that the one where he's in the car?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they said...
So that was in the car park at GWS. All right, so I don't know what... He's in a van that one of his mates is driving. So I'm not quite sure what the operation is there, but his mate's driving a van. He's come off the Blue Goose. He's come out of the airport after Mitch Cleary chased him like someone chasing a pop star running around the airport. He was asked if he liked the facilities. He said, "I love the facilities." He then said to Channel 7, asked about Collingwood. What do I like about Collingwood? I like them better than Melbourne, that's for sure. Asked if frustrated, said frustrated. No, it's business, isn't it? So
He's going to get booed the shit out of.
by who?
By Melbourne fans. When whoever he plays for, when they go to play in Melbourne, they are going to boo the shit out
As
of him.
far as I read Clayton Oliver, though, he seems like a pretty basic guy. He's a Brownlow medalist, might just add. Right?
Yeah.
Won a Brownlow.
Yeah, he's so
Right, so he's a pretty good player.
He's very good.
Right, so he seems pretty basic, wants to play footy, right? He seems to have had a few off-field issues. GWS have been pretty good in this regard.
Yeah.
I seem to remember Jesse Hogan, no one really wanting him at the time, Coleman medalist.
Oh, man, he's so good.
I reckon GWS will back the way their football club is structured, their leadership, their playing group, to bring Clayton Oliver in, a Brownlow medalist,
Yeah.
and go pretty bloody well. If you cut all the bullshit and you just think about him as a football player, I reckon he'll go pretty well at GWS. Josh Kelly, it's just been revealed that he's going to be out for most of the 2026 season. He's got hip surgery he's going to have. So they're going to be down a midfielder. I think he almost certainly signs at the GWS Giants. And I like his comments around Melbourne. He's come out of an exit meeting where Melbourne have said, hey, mate, we don't want you. Go look elsewhere. What's he meant to say? I love Melbourne, everything they've done for me. They've basically
I want
flicked
to
him
go
on the
play.
curb.
Where is it, Carey?
Correct. We can't guarantee you getting a game in the ones this year. I mean,
That's
people expect too much out of players around loyalty and love. And I'm sure he's got a lot of respect and love for his teammates, a lot of respect and love for his fans that have gone over the years. But also, I agree with his thing. It's business.
absolutely. Adelaide. Oh, actually, one more question, Clayton Oliver. Does that make, if Clayton Oliver plays for GWS Giants next year, is that like, oh shit, like they're, because there was questions around GWS going into next season if they could actually be good.
Well, it's a good move because they've got an ageing midfield, a few of them at least. Like Toby Green isn't getting any younger, he's the captain. Stephen Cornelio has battled injury. Josh Kelly have just said, and Lockie Whitfield is a back flanker, but they're all over 30.
Yep.
Clayton Oliver is how old, Dan? If you had
Late
to guess.
20s. I think he's 28.
If I just said no name to it, he is 28 years old. The GWS Giants are adding a premiership winning, best and fairest winning Brownlow medalist that's 28 years old. What do you say to that? Yes, pay whatever you need to pay.
Yep.
Correct. So that's why he's going there. He'll definitely be going to GWS.
Adelaide have asked a question about young Western Bulldog Riley Sanders.
Guarantee of the week, by the way. Homewise
really?
Solar guarantee of the week. Oh, Clayton Oliver to GWS.
Yep.
Like it's done.
Lock it in.
Riley Sanders, that's an interesting one. I spoke to someone who coached Riley Sanders in state league footy, and he was almost the best player in the country as a midfielder, as a just unstoppable ball magnet. If you think at the Western Bulldogs, he's behind Liberatore, Treloar when he's playing, the Bont, Ed Richards, All-Australian this year. He's behind a very, 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 very good midfield. Going to Adelaide, good midfield, but I think he's South Australian. I'd be asking the question too, because as a junior, he's a ball-accumulating gun, and he's not getting the midfield time that he probably would hope at the Bulldogs.
All the good teams are just getting better. Like if he goes to Adelaide, that makes Adelaide. That's right. West Coast will be back. Vic clubs are still keen on Bailey Humphrey after he posted on yesterday's Instagram with a song "Take Me Home, Country Roads" by John Denver. Is he indicating he wants to go home?
This is proper trade rumour central. He's put an Instagram up with the song "Take Me Home." Country road. Right, so he's put that up, and that means he's going to go home. Is that right?
Apparently.
Maybe he just likes the song. Is that possible? I don't know.
I'm trying to see if there's any last minute news about him.
So the picture was put up by a good friend Adrian at the debrief. I saw him getting interviewed on a podcast about that.
Yeah.
Bit of
How'd you get the photo, mate?
Someone sent it to me.
It was a group chat.
Ripping story, Adrian. So the debrief put it up. They got a bit of vested interest in this one, given they're the fan podcast for the Melbourne Demons. Put a photo up of Stephen King, Nathan Jones, and Bailey Humphrey walking on the street together. So I don't think that's a coincidence. No. Bumping into each other.
No. Oh, fancy seeing you here.
He's a Victorian. He's from right near Hill End, which is where I played the Carlton Draft.
Oh.
Yeah, so, Bailey
Rural.
Humphrey heading home.
Yeah,
Thanks to John Denver.
Thanks to John Denver. We have time for some questions, comments.
Yeah, before we do that, Dan, next weekend the 18th, 19th of October, our friends at Shelter are hosting a 2-day festival on the Busselton foreshore. It's Beer Hall. We were down there last week, Dan. They've got all the setup happening right now. It's a beer festival by the beach. And if you're going to be in Busselton, if you're going to be down south, the southwest of Western Australia, this is the place you need to be. 18th, 19th of October. Head to shelterbrewing.com.au for tickets. It's a festival based around, let you just see if this is of interest, Dan.
Okay.
Festival based around a massive beer hall marquee. So we're talking Oktoberfest sort of setup. Okay. There's wine from LS Merchants. We're talking Credaro wines.
Ooh.
A cocktail pop-up from the crew at Bar Love. Ooh. I think it's pretty loose. I think Paul mentioned there's going to be some sort of rave tent there, I believe.
Oh, yeah, there's a rave tent.
I believe there's a tent raving. Interested?
Yeah, definitely.
Shelter's German chefs Julian and Tom are doing Oktoberfest-inspired menu over the fire pit. There's fresh seafood, pretzels and other food. Happy?
I love a pretzel.
Not to mention axe throwing, keg rolling, stein holding, Jibber's hot sauce eating comp, and much, much more.
Is this Christmas?
Tickets include a beer and a pretzel on arrival, so kick you off on the right foot. Head to shelterbrewing.com.au. Tickets available right there. Make sure you get down there. Dan, let's finish the show with some questions and comments from our friends on YouTube, on Instagram. If you want to send a story through, if you want to send a question through, you got 2 more shows to do it. FootyCast at BackChatStudios.com.au is our email, or you can hit us on social, Shelter FootyCast, or put a comment in the YouTube comments below.
I was just looking at my calendar for the 18th of October. It's my mother-in-law's birthday.
Happy birthday!
It's an event on, so I won't be able to go to Busselton.
Happy birthday! No, happy birthday, we're going to the beer.
I should love that. Okay, here we go. I don't even know where the questions are. This is my first time. Oh, here we go. These ones here. We've got the 24-hour Fox Footy one. Okay. All right, this is from Rumours on YouTube. We have a 24/7 Fox Footy channel, yet we have zero coverage of the Combine. It's insane. We'll talk about this on Monday. It is insane.
Yeah, it's stupid.
How do they not have the coverage?
So I saw some footage from, not Sedge, but Baseline Footy. And it was good. It was from a phone, and it was a 20-metre sprint. And there was a kid who did a really fast 20-metre sprint time. And where they did it, which is some sort of gym, they had a big scoreboard, and it was kind of like the American, like it had a draft board, a leaderboard, but it was just for the people in the gym. Like there hasn't been anywhere. It was for the other kids to watch. But I don't understand it at all. Tune in on BackChat on Monday. We're gonna chat to an interesting guest over on BackChat. I don't know if you saw my messages to you on Instagram last night. But
yes. Sorry.
I've found a kid. I think this is hilarious. I don't know how he's done it, but he's replicated a draft shirt, put the number 99 on it, and he's basically rocking up at the draft camp and pretending that he's a kid that's going to get drafted. He used to play footy, but he's not very good. He's lost his way a little bit, the Schofield style. We're going to chat to him on Monday. He's been getting in and around illegally, but it's funny. So we'll talk to him on Monday. We'll ask him where the coverage has been, because I think it's very disappointing.
All right. This is from Derek Boss 4404 on YouTube. Bali should have a team in the AFL. That can be the 20th team. I reckon they have no trouble attracting players and coaches.
Ricky Olorenshaw, major sponsor of the Bali Nines. Look, if you could...
is it the Geckos?
Yeah, the Geckos, Bali Geckos. Look, if you could base a team out of Bali and every second week a team got to fly to Bali, it'd be like a bye week. So instead of doing the mid-season bye or pre-finals bye, just do bye week in Bali for a team every week. So one week a year, you get to go to Bali and play the Bali Geckos. You win, so you're guaranteed to win.
So they're playing the Geckos, like the actual... Because
I'm not sure what the talent pool's like in Bali. Like I don't know if there's any Indonesians that have played in the AFL. I don't think there has been. I think we've got a half-decent soccer team, national soccer team.
Yeah, the good soccer.
Indonesians.
Yep.
Not sure their AFL skill at this stage.
All right. Well, who knows? Never know, Derek.
Well, I reckon we know. I reckon that's not going to happen.
All right. This is from Rainman23.
Yep.
AFL is happy to replace the sub with 5 on the bench, make it 23 players. The knock-on effect from that is they'll now have the 23 under 23, which allows their golden boy, Nick Dacos, to keep getting selected. Oh, my gosh. That makes so much sense. So how can we have Nick Dacos in a team next year? Oh, we'll make it 23 players.
So Collingwood is adjusting their best and fairest. I think we're going to have adjustments in the Brownlow, so only Nick can get 3 votes.
Yep.
So no one else can get 3 voters, only Nick, so we can win one. And then they've gone from the 22 under 22, so it's now the 23 under 23. You are spot on, Ray, man. Yeah. That's exactly what's going to happen, and Nick Dacos will be the captain. So next year, Homewise Solar Guarantee of the Year. Nick Dacos wins best and fairest.
Yep.
Captain of the 23 under 23. All Australian. Brownlow medal. Not a premiership player. Collingwood can't win the premiership next year.
No. Maybe unless for a different team.
Yeah, that's very good.
The All-Australian will have 23 players then, right?
I think they're going to have 5 on the bench, Yeah. So I still think they should have been naming a sub in the All-Australian team. They should have been naming a sub.
The super sub, Nat 5.
Yeah,
But you have to have started a sub multiple times.
We talked to Glenn Jakovic about this on our BackChat interview. I haven't seen it. Go and check it out over on the BackChat feed. But Jacko's a selector at All-Australian level. I still think for All-Australian there's the world in which each position, like every position, like we do with the BackChat Backman of the Year, the Jack Buckley medal, I reckon there's an algorithm you could run for every position. So one of the back pockets, you tweak the algorithm so it's like the best one-on-one lockdown defender. So like one-on-one contests, like goals kicked against, that sort of stuff. The fullback, do it for playing on the best.
They'll probably use the Jack Buckley medal algorithm.
The fullback probably that, and it's like playing on the best player. Whereas the centre half back, you'd base more on intercepts.
Yeah, yep.
The other back pocket, you might have I don't know what metrics you want. One of the half-back flanks is like, metres gained, efficiency and kick. The other half-back's a bit more of a lockdown player. The wings, you literally like use metrics that pick wingers. Midfield, you'd have like an absolute ball-winning gun. You'd have a clearance gun, and then you'd have the best defensive midfielder, like a tagger playing in there. The ruckman, you'd base the algorithm around the best rucks.
So you're having the best statistical team.
Yeah, but the statistics aren't just like kicks, marks, handballs. They are very specific to each position.
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't have an All-Australian selection committee. You just, as that player, you just present it. And and there's no arguments.
No, there's nothing. There's no bias.
And people know what they are. Players know what they are. If you want to go and play in the back pocket and there's a big requirement around intercept marks.
Yeah.
Or handballs, handball receives. Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
And if you're not, I think there's a world that could be done. I wonder
you should build the algorithm. Or Hamish, you should give Hamish sort of the details. He can go build the algorithm, and then we should build an Australian team from that.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Hey, mate, that's all we got time for.
What a treat.
I will track down Mark Reddings. That could be the last time you're on the show. Any final thoughts for
I'll be back Wednesday.
Our audience?
I'll be back Wednesday for our live draft. What is it called?
So it'll be the trade period, the trade window close. That'll be live on BackChat YouTube.
Yeah.
Will it be live on the Shelter FootyCast YouTube?
It's on the same YouTube. Yeah,
of course it is.
They go out on the same together. So if you are a fan of Shelter FootyCast but you want to see that, just go to the YouTube channel because it won't be live. You can't do live podcasts on audio.
Yes.
Just for a technical explanation. You
but
can't do that. They will go out straight away as soon as we can. But if you want to watch it live and get involved in the comments and ask us questions and stuff like that, you do have to go to YouTube. Just search BackChat Studios on YouTube. You'll find it there.
We're going to have lots of special guests joining us. We're going to have people probably from every state in Australia joining us, dialing in for a couple of minutes across the hour as we bring you updates. It'll be live. It'll be hot. It'll be, I don't know what it'll be doing. Skeeter will be there.
Spicy.
Absolutely. Will Schofield, Dan Const, that is us done for the Shelter FootyCast. Great joining you. Have a great weekend and we'll see you on Monday.